First time going live on TikTok. So I don't know. I just want to hit some just small points. So I get myself caught up in the word saying the word nice. I try my best not to say it. See, the power of death and life is in the tongue. And so you have to really, really be conscious of where words come from, the pronunciation, the tone that is coming out of your mouth. A lot of people don't care. They say, oh man, we've been used to that. Nice means good. But when you look into the etymology, it says that nice deals with naivety or being stupid. And there are so many different, I guess, cultural things linked to nice. Nicosia or Nicaea, as well as Nicene Creed. Those that had decided to, I guess, canonize the Bible from that same region. Not Israelites, but people of the Nicene region. That's the same place that worships the god Nike, goddess. It's a female, goddess of victory. And so that word nice fits real well because she plays upon your naivety and tricks people to gain a victory. She basically tricks you and operates as if you're stupid. If you look up into the etymology, you'll see that that word nice, it even says that it means stupid. It doesn't mean good like we've been taught. Again, we got to look into what we're saying out of our mouths. When you go back and look how old that word is, it's not even as old as the biblical time and stuff like that we go back to far as the Tanakh, the Old Testament. It's fairly new, but it has nothing to do with the culture of the Bible, which is, the Hebrew people. It's more connected to the Roman and the Grecians. So, a lot of the mindset is when you operate as Romans and Grecians, you're actually Hellenized. We don't look into these terminologies and these words because we're taught not to. Because in actuality, this culture, the United States, is a Hellenized culture. A lot of the structures in our, I guess, legal system, our I guess you could say our political realm, those buildings all look like Roman buildings, Roman structures. So we don't realize that we're Hellenized, and we embrace that. We don't question a lot of the things that are said to us. Like again, when somebody's saying nice, they could actually be given an insult. But of course, we have always seen that as to be a good thing when it's not. Right now, looking at my skin color, we've been told as a people that we're black. But if you look into the etymology of black, you see that means nothingness. It also means blank, or is connected to blankness, or pale, without color. Black is not what we are. You can go to the term negus, and that actually means royalty. The Ethiopian word negus or negus means royalty. And if you say it in a slanderous way, in a mocking way, niggas, 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 niggers, niggers. Now you see where they basically got that from. They were mocking the people that they put under the hand, the people that they captured. They were mocking them, knowing that they come from royalty. Many of us, when we watched TV as youth, they showed us the Ethiopians to be some of the poorest people on the earth. That they basically had fat bellies and stuff like that. But then when you start checking to historical records, you'll find out that the Ethiopians were so gold porous, had so much gold that they used gold for their jail cells. They used gold for their shackles. They used gold for everything. And those in Britain and Europe basically came in. They didn't actually populate those places and far as, put them under subjection as far as slavery, but they took all their gold. So when we see Ethiopia as poor, it's not because they didn't have, it's because what they had was taken. So these were royal people, Negus. And so once they took what belonged to them, they mocked them, niggas. That term black also. When you look at most of the caste system, most of us don't realize that there anything exists that's a caste system. We look at things according to what we've told race. When the race situation basically came about because there was a race for global domination, and the melanin people were not involved in it. It was mostly the Europeans. So when they say racism, its focus mostly can be on the Europeans and not the melanin people. Can be prejudiced. They can hate somebody due to their skin color, but as far as racism, we were not in the race for global domination. We did not have access. We were the ones that were the victims and not the ones that were actually operating and doing. Let me see. Do I have any comments? Let me swap. Right. I don't see any, but I'm going to keep going. I can respond to any comments afterwards, but there's so much that we've been tricked on with words. Shalom, Yahuda. That's my brother Zion. But we've been tricked with so many words, and we speak so many things that are deaf towards us and we don't realize it. You know, I've been trying my best to not call the Most High God. His name is Yahuwah. But God, that's God real. It's a fallen that was over the garden, whose name was God real, who wanted to be worshipped as well. Lord, that links to Baal, like Baalzebub, Lord of the Flies. There's a lot of terminologies and words that we are taught to say. You know, when you look at ecclesia has been told to us to be what the word that meant for church. But church was a pagan temple. Ecclesia was actually people. It was not a building. Church is a pagan temple, and also Circe or church, there's a goddess named Church, the daughter of Helios. But we say so many terminology, we don't realize that we're speaking death and not life. And this is our activity because we have been taught and put up under the spell, the English spell or English spelling. We're not an English people. They tell you, you know, in a lot of times in jokingly ways and in comics as well as, you know, a lot of TV shows that the most powerful magic is magic said in reverse. But if you look at the Hebrew, which way does it go? The Hebrew goes from what? From the right to the left. But English goes from the left to the right. So everything that you're pronouncing and saying is in reverse. You'll find a lot of Hebrew words that are embedded into the English language. Got to look into these things. But most people will say, basically, you're doing too much. You know, I've been told I do too much because I've started looking into the etymology, and they say, well, these are words we're comfortable with. The first day of the week, Yom Risham, is today. And this is the day they've given most Christianity to worship. Is focused on the sun, S-U-N. But we are supposed to be Sabbath keeping people, the seventh day and not the first day. But of course, we are trained according to their ways, the Hellenized ways, and not the ways of the book, the Bible. And even with that word Bible, it's a place called Biblios, another pagan place. Bible in itself, it means book. But something interesting about that. You look up Helios Biblios. That's what that book, what they tried to label that book before it was called the Holy Bible. Helios being the sun god. Again, the father of Circe or church, circle. But, hey, it's a lot of Jedi mind tricks out there and mind games. And we are under the spell and we willingly go and embrace it. Because almost everything that we do daily is teaching us to say the name of other mighty ones. And we openly and willingly accept those terms to be what they are and what they've been, and we won't get rid of the cognitive dissonance and fight those things and start speaking differently. Start putting power behind words of life instead of words of death. Well, it's time for me to get into the job. Job. Notice saying similar. What happened with Job? Most of us, when we're in our place of work or jobs, we feel like everything of us is being stripped from us, just like with Job. We don't have no time to live because we so much focus on the words of death. Shalom. Yam Rasham. Shalom. How do I end this? Ooh. See, I got a problem ending this, but I'm going to get it ended. It's time to get into the J-O